Good evening, Hannah. Thank you so much for reaching out to us for a reading. This is Vanessa, and I've brought my husband Cameron here along with me to help support us in this reading and to add some more intuitive guidance.
Hi, Hannah.
And I'm actually really excited to do this reading for you. I actually do resonate with where you're coming from very personally, not only career-wise, but as an individual who has dealt with many burnouts and blockages in my life. I was a massage practitioner in the holistic field for about 6 years and actually had to give it up for that specific reason. So I hope that you are able to overcome. I'm really glad that you are seeking outside guidance in order to work through or find that missing piece that you feel like is out there in order for you to feel whole so that you can work through these blockages and really open yourself up to your purpose and being able to have the capacity to heal yourself as you so wonderfully heal others. And a lot of times, if I may add before we start our reading, it's really all about our perception. And sometimes we even have compassion fatigue when it comes to helping others so often that we kind of forget about ourselves. And so I'm not sure if that's something that you have been feeling. It sounds like you've been very active in trying to find this, or at least identify this blockage that needs releasing so that you can turn that favor around from helping others to helping yourself. And something my husband and I talk about a lot is the wounded healer. And that wounded healer, I don't necessarily know at this point in my life if we ever really find our solace and really believe that we can heal ourselves, because our fate is to take on the part of others that needs healing. And in doing so, that's what I mean when I say it's really about perception. We really have to go deep and understand that what it is that we're experiencing in our outer world, because we are in the world, that it may not resonate with our purpose, as far as being able to move as freely as we see others moving freely throughout the world around us, because our purpose is very different. And it doesn't mean that you are doomed to live a life of agony or that you will never find this missing piece that you're searching for. I believe that all who seek will find. And just as I have found my particular aid in recovering from that burnout, which has come from many dynamic experiences, I do wish the same for you, and I know that that is available to you. And so using the tarot, that is a wonderful way, and that's what drew me to it as well, to just kind of remain grounded in our center and our perspective of what it is that we should really be focusing on versus seeing too much of what's going on in the world, or the matrix, if you will, that doesn't necessarily truly resonate with us as healers. So with that said, we're going to start by pulling 3 different cards, and we're just going to let this reading flow and into it as we go along. What it is that may be hindering you or holding you back from really being able to understand what that blockage is, and how you may learn to unravel it. And this is a great card. It's the 2 of Pentacles. And the first word that comes to mind when I see this card is balance. One thing that we have to do as healers is it really is a balancing act between healing others and making sure that we don't absorb too much of what it is that they are releasing. I know in my massage practice, I had to visualize a barrier around my body, around my mind, and around my spirit that protected me from whatever it is that was releasing from that person on the table. And I'm not sure if you have a practice like that, but I definitely encourage that if that's something that's new to you, if you haven't done that already. But I believe that as an intuitive and someone who is also a healer, that you have attempted this, and maybe it's just something that needs to be strengthened. I'm not sure if you like to pray or what kind of practice you may have incorporated before you go into each session, but it's really, really important for you to be able to do that. And so anything that because you do energy work, you don't want to absorb that energy. You want to be able to deflect it appropriately. Of course, not back onto your client, but in a way that just releases it from that entire space. And in order to do that, sometimes it can be really difficult depending on what it is the client's bringing to the table, which can a lot of times feel incredibly heavy, and you don't want to take that home with you. So one thing that this card represents is just being able to perform that balancing act that will be critical for you to enter into each session feeling grounded, feeling very centered in yourself, and ready to take on whatever it is your client has for you.
Beautifully said.
So moving on. The High Priestess. And the High Priestess. Do you want to speak on this one? You say it so beautifully.
Yes, the two cards or themes that I'm gathering from these two readings, especially with regards to the High Priestess, is she is the one that stands on the threshold between worlds. And following the theme of the healer, it is the fate of the healer in many ways to stand on their own, similar to the hermit figure. So she is really the goddess of the threshold or the abyss. She stands in between the two polarities of this world, Jachin and Boaz, or compassion and severity. Very similar to this card as well. There's a duality theme there. And even though she stands alone, she is not alone, because she is the receptacle of and that conduit for that intuitive healing power. So she's very confident and strengthened by this position, but also in a solitary fashion. And so to you, I would say, be comfortable with that solitary feeling, and know that it is part of the healer's art, and also the wounded healer archetype in general. Very powerful feminine card.
And go to the third card.
Oh, another feminine card. These are like the best feminine cards.
I really love this card. And just as my husband said, I'm seeing a very solo journey, but a very powerful one. And one that, because you are a facilitator of healing for others, is going to return to you in form, well, let me say this. It will breed a type of confidence and authoritativeness in you that you may not see now, but it will be represented or manifested in the future as your inner world starts to align with your outer world, as you find that balance, and you'll start to know what it is in retrospect, looking back, that you may have felt blocked from. And it just may not be revealing itself now because you're just on that journey of discovery, of discovering yourself, discovering your capabilities, and discovering what it is that people really need and how you can facilitate that for them. So this practice of Reiki may just be the door that's opening to you. And if you feel that continuously, maybe it's time to evolve, maybe add additional things to your practice that resonate with you. And going forward, maybe, do you want to speak on this?
The theme that I'm gathering from this reading is peace born of strength.
Yes.
And the reason that I say that is because this is a state that I don't think most people could handle. There is a tremendous amount of stillness and peace coming from these figures, but it's because they've learned how to channel that chi, that prana, that's the spirit that is flowing through them. This is the queen essentially of the living waters. And so if you can make peace with that fate, so to speak, you can be of tremendous value as you are to your environment. And much of our how we interpret where we are in life comes from understanding our archetype. If we can understand who we are, then we can know what we are, and then we can know what to do in that regard. And this is a very clear message that you are a feminine healer, and that your lot is with these great archetypes.
And I would encourage you to meditate more on that, to understand that you are just different from the masses. You are going to be a very different figure in the world than most. And that's not an arrogant thing to feel. It's something that once you align with, you will just feel that blockage fall away. That's what I'm gathering, is once you start really just finding that groove of understanding yourself and your authoritative nature, and the fact that you are here for a grand purpose, that it will eventually feel less daunting, and you won't you'll just begin to understand why it is that you're here and what it is you need to do moving forward. Things will feel more certain, more aligned, more honest, and you won't have to deal with the binding of the mind.
Yes.
Much more. So I hope that reading resonated with you. Thank you so much for reaching out, and it was a joy to work with you.
Thank you so much.